Now, okay,
Good.
awesome. Okay, we are live. We are live. Late night crypto interview tonight. So, hello people, how's it going? We've got a great video lined up for everyone tonight. We have Crypto Edutainment with us.
What's up? What's up?
to help me. Oh, hang on. I got to turn this off. Sorry, my video was like playing double. Yeah, we're gonna basically break down what's going on with Bitcoin Cash and its pump and dump scenario. We're gonna talk about altcoins, Segwit, potential Segwit 2x fork. We're gonna go through all of it. We're gonna break it down for you guys and have some fun at the same time. Levi, how's it going, bro? Thank you for coming on here, bro, and thank you for reaching out. How is it going? And introduce yourself as well.
Doing good. Let me get back to the question, because people on my channel were saying I need to do the introduction as I always do. So let's break it down like that. Hey, what's up, everybody? Levi Illis here. Thanks again for watching and welcome to my new subscribers. If you're new to my channel, I'm trying to bring you cryptocurrency news in the edutainment kind of way, so it's easy for you to digest. So today, I'm here together with Luke, yes for motivation, straight from the UK, together with me, Levi Illis, Cryptocurrency Edutainment. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin Cash and all that.
Bro, that was 10 times better than me. Like you should do that. You should just do this for me. I might just like get you to just do the intros for my videos from now on, man. That was like 1,000,000 times better. That was awesome. So for everyone watching, this is like kind of like a unique live stream, right? So me and Levi are thinking outside the box here. We're doing a live stream within a live stream. So people on Levi's channel are also watching. So hi guys, Luke here, yes for motivation. So we're basically combining resources, combining communities, and we're gonna break this whole thing down together. So Levi, for like people who haven't seen your channel yet, tell us what got you into cryptocurrencies real quick, and what you love about it so much.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Luke. So yeah, I'm actually pretty new to the cryptocurrency world. So I actually been following Bitcoin since 2013. I work for myself. I have my own company, and I'm a digital marketing automation specialist. And you know, in the last 9 years, I was always looking for new investments. I have been in the stock market for a while. I'm also investing in commodities. And then whenever I was looking into Bitcoin, I was always looking at, let's say, mainstream financial news sites like Bloomberg, NASDAQ, and all that. Then at a certain point of time, a friend of mine said, "Hey, do you know Bitcoin?" I said, "Yes." "Oh yeah, that thing that's being used on the dark market, right?" And he was like, "No, you really need to look into it." So since last year, I started to look into it. But you know, whenever it comes to money to invest, and whenever I invest, I do it with relatively larger amounts. I'm not doing it with a couple of hundreds or a couple of thousands dollars. So I really need to dive into the topic. So at a certain point of time, I was like, after a year, I was like, well, let me try it a little bit. So last year I started with some pocket money, and I say, hey, and I got into Bitcoin, and then I saw with Bitcoin, I saw the other altcoins, and then I saw, let's say, then I started to understand what blockchain was about. And I also saw that there are other distributed ledger technologies that have a lot of potential for the future. And especially since I'm working for, let's say, multinationals as well, and they are focusing on the Internet of Things. And I've also seen, let's say, other, let's say, ledger technologies that has a lot of potential for that, let's say, segment or sector. I was like, wow, this is something that is going to change the world. So since the start of this year, I started to invest with a pretty significant part of my, let's say, total portfolio. So at the moment, I'm like 30% into crypto. Ever since, I've also got into vlogging due to, let's say, cloud mining. And I saw some people that were very talking enthusiastic about it. And now at this point of time, I'm not recommending cloud mining at all. I would never recommend it to someone to do, but that also gives me, let's say, content for my vlog and talk about that. And I found now that I have a hobby in talking about cryptocurrency because I'm so passionate about it. I'm also passionate about that work, what I'm doing right now, but I'm really considering to stop my work by the end of the year and go full-time crypto, because I have pretty much confidence that this will be the future. So yeah, that's it from my side. So what about you, Luke? What is your story behind this?
Bro, yeah, I mean, just want to say that's inspirational, man. It's all about freedom and not being a wage slave. So I mean, that's awesome, bro. As for me, I've known about like Bitcoin from 2012, late 2012, 2013. I remember going to a networking meeting over in Bristol and all those years ago, and I remember speaking to some people, and they were saying about Bitcoin, and then I remember reading about it on the internet and in newspapers about a Canadian who made 800,000 Canadian dollars with a tiny investment into Bitcoin when Bitcoin was so cheap. And I remember hearing about the first Bitcoin ATM was in Vancouver as well. And I remember reading about it in the early years, and I was like, wow, that's really impressive. You know, that's very innovative. But I thought maybe it's too late. And then I started, and I started like hearing people talking about mining Bitcoin. And this is when Bitcoin was like $200, $300, not even $300, like really, really cheap compared to what it is now. And I was like, I need to research this, man. And in my past, like you, I've kind of been learning like digital marketing, kind of like a crash course in digital marketing, learning SEO. I did web design and multimedia computing at uni. So I kind of just evolved. Did a lot of freelance work as well, and it kind of led me to online marketing, which then led me into learn about Bitcoin and learning about like digital money and blockchain technology. So around late 2015 and then early 2016, I started really researching this and playing with it. And nothing like major. You know, I'm not a millionaire yet. What I will be, but not today.
Same here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but we gotta be positive. Always think positive. And I started looking into it, and I started researching this blockchain stuff, and I was like, damn. And looking at Bitcoin's chart, and it looked very bullish. And then I learned about the altcoins, and then I saw like Litecoin. I asked around, and I learned about. I was hearing about Capricorn, all these like other little scammy coins that were around, and I started learning about like how ruthless cryptocurrency, the crypto space is. Because I remember when the DIO incident happened with Ethereum, when Steemit crashed from like $3 down to like 30 cents when the Steemit social media site was released. So that's when, so I learned very quickly, and I didn't really burn my hands, but I learned how dangerous this space can be if you don't know what you're doing. I've just been slowly but surely learning, and that's me. You know, I've played with stocks and shares in the past, but cryptocurrency just seems much more fun and innovative. I love a bit of technology. So
and more to gain.
That's me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, way more. Yeah, so that's a bit about me. But bro, let's talk about Bitcoin Cash, because it's been crazy. It's been a crazy 24. I mean, I did a live stream earlier, and as you were in the comment box, and it went up to like I started the live stream. It was $720 for each Bitcoin Cash. Went up to $756 during the short clip. What's your take on the price, and how do you think the price is going to evolve with Bitcoin Cash? Not just in the short term, but give us like a little bit of insight into the long term.
Yeah, so initially, you know, the thing that we all expected happened yesterday. You know, people started dumping, and yeah, I'm always trying to look at it from an economical perspective, and also from, let's say, a business perspective. So pure, if we look at the original idea of Satoshi, and I'm not going to choose any camp, right? I'm just looking at this from a neutral perspective.
Yeah,
Actually,
agreed.
So what the guys at Bitcoin Cash try to achieve here is really try to keep the power to the people, right? I sent you the money to Luke sent it back to me without any additional chains on top. Like, you know, whenever SegWit is activated and you have the Lightning Network on top, then you have a third party, even though it will be lightning fast and instantly, from that perspective, there is a third party that we rely on for doing our transactions. Yeah. So based on that, I'm looking at it from, you know, the rationale behind what, even though what the camps are saying, Bitcoin Cash tries to do the scaling without those third parties. Like, for instance, Dash is also doing it now, increasing the block sizes, right? So looking at that, and also looking at it from let's say a miner perspective. So Bitmain has Jian, who says everything, but you know, he's also threatening like, okay, we are going to use we are going to mine Bitcoin Cash as well. Bitcoin.com, of course, Roger Ver is also supporting or indicating that he might support it. And there is another party, I cannot recall which other party that is. But if you count them all together and sum it up, then it's around 31% of the hash power. That, of course, is also a good thing for Bitcoin, because then the hash rate will lower and the miners will also be a little bit happy, because then they can earn more Bitcoin. But if we look at that from that perspective, there might be a future, right? Because 31% of the miners are going for Bitcoin Cash. And on the other hand, we still need to see whether SegWit also works fine, right? Because although it has been activated on Litecoin, we now see it on a full traffic highway as Bitcoin. So if you look at that perspective, and I do not want to get more technical on that, but based on that, if we as the market, because we as the market determine the value, right? And we as a market can also determine then whether it should be a good idea to go for Bitcoin Cash. And that's why I was saying to my audience in the last months already, whenever the chain will fork, I'm just going to sit out the storm and see what's going to happen. Like also the same thing with Ethereum Classic, right? There it also went down, and now there is some value there because people are still mining it, and at a certain point of time, a group of people determined that they are going to build a roadmap for it and continue with it. So the same thing might happen right here, in my opinion. So it's just a matter of see and what happens and what the market will do, especially with what we saw today when it spiked to 720 to 750 even, right, Luke?
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally agree with you there, mate, because Satoshi originally was all for increasing the block size, and we have to kind of take that into consideration. I was talking about that in yesterday's 2-hour-long live stream as well. So it's kind of like we have these two ideologies which are very passionate, have a lot of financial and technological resources behind them. And we could actually, we could definitely see something like maybe in a year's time where Bitcoin Cash, like how Ethereum Classic, after it got dumped onto the markets, after it kind of found its feet, it will have its own very strong ecosystem. It's very possible. In terms of the short term, when I saw people in the troll box saying that Polo has crashed, I don't know if that's anything to do what's going on with that. But I think in the short term, we could see we could see some like a few more pumps with Bitcoin Cash. We could see a few more dumps. Yeah, I think when Ledger and Trezor hold, when people with their cold storage can actually, when exchanges can actually, when they're actually providing a Bitcoin Cash address for us to send to, we could see a huge dump. But we may not. We may not. We may see people actually start buying more, perhaps, for another pump, right? Because greed is such a strong factor in this community. This community, I would say, is governed mainly a lot by greed. Someone commented that earlier on. Yeah. So we could definitely see, we could see probably a few more pump and dumps if they do continue to get more hashing power. I don't know what the hashing power is at the moment. I personally don't know. Maybe someone can tell us in the comment section. But if their hashing power grows, if they do get more market capital, if they don't get totally dumped straight away. And I think there's contingency plans in place for that because there's a lot of money behind Bitcoin Cash. I think that, yeah, it could definitely, it could stabilize maybe somewhere. I don't know where it could stabilize. You know, maybe, I don't want to guess. I don't want to guess right yet, but, you know, it could definitely have like some kind of influence on the market, at least have its own kind of space, especially now that it's got the larger block size, right? And it hasn't, and it's all on chain, we have to, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, right? But it's true. And like you said, it's like, I'm not taking sides. I mean, at the end of the day, this has never been, none of this has happened before. So we just have to literally see where it goes. But I can understand especially from like the Satoshi white paper point of view, and Satoshi kind of increasing the block size years ago, I can understand why people are so passionate for this. But I can also understand the SegWit side of things as well. You know, I'm happy that SegWit is going to get locked in a few days.
Yeah.
But the thing is, right? Because I'm all about innovation, right? I mean, yeah, definitely. From a logical standpoint, you know, I want it all to do well. There can be more than one winner in cryptocurrency and in blockchain technology. But I'll quickly sum it up. What was I going to say? Like, because what if, like, if more and more hashing power suddenly starts going to Bitcoin Cash? Theoretically, I'm not trying to scare anyone. That could slow down Bitcoin SegWit lock-in time, right? I mean, these are possible scenarios. No one truly knows what's going to happen. I would personally say just don't touch any of it, because the networks are, I mean, I think Bitcoin Cash needs something like 6 or 7 confirmations or something as well. I think Bitcoin as well. I mean, there's like SegWit 2x, there's the original version of SegWit, and we'll talk about SegWit 2x later on. And then we've got all these different chains, and I just don't want to get mixed up in it. I don't want to create like a load of transactions and then one chain becomes void, right? I mean, Tone Vays was warning us about that earlier last month. So yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. I'm just totally fascinated by it, you know? So yeah, it's interesting times. So sticking with Bitcoin Cash, we were talking about this before. I've noticed, right, that so far, and again, it's early days, Bitcoin Cash, you know, at the moment, I would say the market is deeming it as a altcoin. So like how we've seen the altcoins explode and Bitcoin also explode in market capital with it, like where at the start of the year, everyone thought Bitcoin was going to shrink and all the altcoins were going to catch it up. Are we seeing something like this with Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin? Because this hard fork fear seems to be like a total load of nonsense, because Bitcoin is still very, very much, its price is still very stable. It's above 2,500, despite the big surge in Bitcoin Cash. So are we seeing like an altcoin kind of relationship where money is coming into Bitcoin to then go into Bitcoin Cash, just like how money goes into Bitcoin first to go into altcoins? I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a difficult one, Luke, because I've also been looking at that, and I think that's the situation, yes, because you always need to go via the trading pair of Bitcoin to another altcoin, and the same goes for Bitcoin Cash. I do not know or hear about that there is a direct, let's say, fiat to Bitcoin Cash trading pair at this point of time. And maybe I'm wrong, because I do not trade a lot. I actually just buy and hold for longer periods. And if I let's say convert things, I convert them via, let's say, convert service like Changely or Shapeshift or whatever. But yeah, if that is the case, that it goes to Bitcoin first and then goes to Bitcoin Cash, then that should also influence the price of Bitcoin a little bit. But you also do not see that. So I'm a little bit in the dark there.
Yeah. I think it's still very, very early days. I think it's. I mean, me and the other guy yesterday, Gartha said yesterday, like, just hold for a few days, just wait and see. Don't be impulsive. And it's surged up, so maybe people could have taken some profit earlier on, because now it's dipped down again. So that's like an interesting. So we just don't know what's going to happen yet. But it seems like it's amazing how the media it creates so much fear, and then Bitcoin still survives. Crazy. It's amazing. So moving on to that. So talking about now the original Bitcoin, right? So SegWit, it looks like it's going to be locked in. I'll get the stats for that up in a second for ladies and gentlemen to see at home. We could still see another fork, mate, and with SegWit 2x, right? Yeah. So what's going to happen now? Are we going to have BIP 141 prevail, or are we going to have SegWit 2x? Because now, now we've had basically a big fork off Bitcoin, SegWit Bitcoin. We now potentially could have 2 versions of SegWit, where we have SegWit without a hard fork and SegWit with a 2x hard fork, like what Litecoin the Litecoin SegWit agreement is. What's your takes on that? And I'll get the stats up and I'll while you explain that, mate.
Yeah. Well, then it's going to be messy, I think. But of course, you know, I'm just a speculator, as I always say. But you know, if then at that point of time, you know, when will that be? Around approximately half of November, I guess, if I'm correct. Then you would have the SegWit 2x, the normal Bitcoin with SegWit. Then you will have Bitcoin Cash. Oh my God. Then what will, let's say, the new investors think that are going to enter the market? Of course, and the thing is, the brand of Bitcoin is so strong. So they will originally, my gut feeling is people will still originally go there. But what happens if the mainstream media is going to create a lot of thought around it, right? I think it's a good opportunity at this point of time or in the coming period, and especially then, whenever there is going to be a new hard fork in November. And I think it's a good opportunity for other coins to step up and challenge the whole Bitcoin thing. Although I am, let's say, a believer in Bitcoin, don't get me wrong, but I'm just speculating on scenarios that might happen. Yeah, that's my thoughts, Luke.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's good to be realistic, you know what I mean? So because I think there's a difference between being negative and being realistic. Exactly. I think it's more positive, and like you said, from a business, financial, logical point of view, there is nothing. I think it's more positive to be realistic and hope for the best, but anticipate the worst. That's common sense prevailing right there. Just a quick update on like SegWit. I mean, the lock-in threshold is still expected on Tuesday, the 8th of August, so less than a week to go. That's at 25 to 4 British time. So that still seems to be on track. So it may vary, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like to not think that we'll get 2 forks of SegWit as well as Bitcoin Cash. That would be detrimental. That would be detrimental because then the so-say united community becomes split. I mean, that would be good. But Litecoin, with Litecoin SegWit agreement, it's where if Litecoin reaches 50% of its block capacity, they will fork it to 2 megabytes. That's the whole kind of agreement, and they agreed to do that. That's why everyone opted in for SegWit on Litecoin. So it is possible it could work. It worked for good old Litecoin, and hopefully, hopefully Bitcoin will come to some kind of resolution. I mean, we still got a long way to go. I mean, November is. I mean, it'll come fast, but I mean, we've got a while to wait yet. I think there's more. There's a few things that have to be kind of gone over first at the moment, like making sure all the chains are safe and secure. Yeah. This Bitcoin Cash stuff as well. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really too worried about Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin at the moment because at the moment the market hasn't reacted too negatively. Exactly. If anything, it's actually created. All the altcoins are still very bullish. Everyone thought, me included, I thought it was going to suck up all the altcoins' capital. But we'll wait to see what happens when SegWit actually locks in, right? We'll wait to see what happens when SegWit locks in. But talking of the altcoins, right, and all the altcoins and poop coins out there, I had to get that one in there. Yeah, I'm trying to cut down on the bad language and stuff. But so. We've had
it's already in the evening, yeah. It's already in the evening.
Yeah. The kids are asleep.
Oh, but not in the US. Not in the US.
Oh yeah. Nah, they'll be fine. So a few altcoins have done quite well. NEM, they've done pretty well. Then it's more expensive than Ripple now. What's your take on that? I mean, what's your take on the altcoins doing well and stuff? Because they're remaining very bullish.
Yeah. So on NEM, NEM is also I have divided my portfolio in different tiers. So I have a tier 1 where I have the heaviest weight on my portfolio. Then I have a nice. Tier 2 where let's say the amount of tier 2 coins whenever they are going to blow up, then it will make up of the whole tier 1 portfolio. And then I have a tier 3 where I just speculate on very speculative coins. But NEM, actually, the thing is they are not so good at marketing. and they have just started to come up with the weekly channel now, NEM Insight, I guess it's named. It's also represented by it sounds like a Native American speaker. Pretty girl to look at.
That's always good.
Always
that's
good. Always good. Better to look at my face, you know.
But the thing is, when I mean, we saw like with Dash, like when they use like like when they use a lady for their for like to promote their project. It does seem to get people's attention, especially in this space where it's mainly like guys and stuff. So it's a good, from a marketing business point of view. Yeah, that's a damn good thing to do. Yeah, you want your product to do well. You want your product to be seen and remembered. I was gonna say as well, to do with NEM. I read that they've done like a proposal to take some of their reserves out. I don't know how much, probably not like all of it, and put it towards marketing, so that they could start marketing more. And there was like some kind of vote system that they're doing. I don't know when they're doing it. I'll have to check my NEM Nano wallet at some point, but I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know if it's just for the people with their NEM master nodes, but it seems like they are aware of that they do need to market more, and they've probably seen how effective marketing is with like Dash, Bitcoin, Litecoin is starting to market more, and Ethereum's very good at marketing. You know, Vitalik is like a sort of icon in blockchain for people. So, so I mean, is there any other altcoins that you're seeing doing well? I mean, any other, or even poop coins? You know, any others that have caught your eye that are doing well?
Yeah, I wanted to go a little bit shortly back to NEM, because what I wanted to say they have focused a lot, let's say, the last years on getting let's say the product live already. And what people do not seem to understand or do not know about, because their marketing is so bad, but I actually try to find a lot of news about NEM. And the thing is, they have two working products that are pretty impressive. One is Landsteed, which is for real estate, property, and land management, which is actually one tool that is being used by governments and such already. And they have Logstack. So here I have an exclusive watch here on my wrist. And what Logstack does, it ensures that there are no fraudulent fakes of this watch. You know, this watch has been produced in 888 units only. And I can say this is the real one, but who knows whether this is a real watch or not. And if you put that on the blockchain, then of course everybody knows that this is not a fake thing, because now that whole business is based on certificates, right? On paper certificates, and you can lose it over time. And they are focusing like the higher segment of luxury goods, like the Rolexes and the IWCs and all that kind of things. And then also in, where is it again? Costa Rica. Yeah, in Costa Rica, there's also a company now that is using Landsteed for, let's say, buying land there in Costa Rica. So it's actually being practically used. And other than that, it's not built on Ethereum, it's not built on Bitcoin. They have rebuilt it from scratch. They can do that now around 3,000 transactions per second. Whenever Catapult is fully up and running, they can also go over the 4,000 transactions per second. And the thing that back then made them deviate from the competition is that they have built it in such a way that also let's say C++ developers and C# developers can work on top of it. And that makes it like a little bit more easier to go mainstream, because that pool of developers in that area is already known with .NET, with C++ and all that. And they do not need to learn, let's say, the program language of Ethereum, for instance. So that's my take on that. Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. No, yeah, go for it. Yeah, no, that's interesting. That your watch as well. That's really interesting. Let's see what people are talking about in the troll box.
Something went wrong on my channel, so people can only hear me. They cannot hear you. So I've forwarded everybody to your channel.
Oh, no problem. I remember people subscribe to both channels. Hit that like button, pound it, smack it. The link is below. Check out all the links. Share this video everywhere, guys. Share it everywhere. Let's check some of the questions. So yeah, a lot of people seem to like NEM. Do you know about Iota? Cohen Albert said about Iota. I don't know much about Iota.
Yeah.
I remember when they were released. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah. I'm pretty bullish about Iota, to be honest. I even dumped 75% of my Ethereum, and people might think I'm crazy, but but you know, I also look at it from that perspective. I've bought Ethereum when it was $10. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You're in profit regardless. Yeah. That's
exactly.
the thing, man.
Exactly. And the thing is, we are getting greedy at a certain point of time. And if you are making, you should always lock up some profit. And maybe 75% is a lot of locking up of profits. But I'm actually waiting for a bear market again to step in. But Iota, so it was about Iota. So if we listen to Gartner, and Gartner is making a forecast that by 2020, 35 billion devices will be connected to the Internet of Things. By 2025, 75% of the devices will be connected to the Internet of Things. By 2030, already over 1 trillion devices will be connected to the Internet of Things.
Wow.
Yes?
Jeez, man, flipping out. And I remember when we had Windows 95, mate. Carry on.
Yeah. So the point that I want to make, because people also do not understand why there are quadrillions of Iotas. So imagine that at a certain point of time, your refrigerator is going to look at the inventory of your refrigerator. It sees that there is no butter anymore. Then your refrigerator is going to order something at the distribution center. The distribution center will send it to an electric car and bring it to your home, while your, let's say, robot is opening the door and put it back in your refrigerator.
Agreed. Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Yeah. So there are a lot of smart contracts that needs to work there to make that happen. But if you look at the margin on butter, butter is like, what is it? Less than €1 or £1. It's less than that.
Yeah.
How can you then ask transaction of 50 cents for that? Then your margin is gone. So in that world, we are going to move to a machine-to-machine economy where it's really required to do nano payments. And then it doesn't make sense to have, let's say, transaction costs anymore. And that's what I like of Iota, because they are focusing on that area. And the thing that I like is that also they have a strong foundation behind it with people that are coming from NASA, from the Pentagon, people of the energy grid sector that understand where the world is going to. And also with, sorry, I need to drink something.
Likewise, mate.
No, and that's why I'm so bullish about Iota, because Bosch and Cisco, they are actually pretty far and have pretty far done proof of concepts with Ethereum. But as we all know, at this point of time, Bitcoin can only do 4 to 7 transactions on the blockchain. Ethereum can only do, let's say, 15 to 20 transactions on the blockchain. Now, to make it more tangible again, in the machine-to-machine environment, where we have 1 trillion devices connected, how can we do transactions of 15 to 20 transactions per second if we need, let's say, for 1 trillion devices, if they all do 1 transaction, how many transactions are that? 1 trillion, right? Minimally.
Yeah, man.
So that's why I'm bullish on Iota. But this is
that's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember reading about where one day we're gonna have our microwaves I've done a video on this, hooked up to like the Wi-Fi. Fridges hooked up to Wi-Fi. TV's already hooked up to Wi-Fi. I mean, and this is going to create so many jobs. Like this is going to create. This is just going to boom. I read that Ethereum is working with smart contracts for cars. So and also cars are going in, at least in Britain, by 2040. They're going to. The government has announced a program to scrap petrol and diesel, liquid fuel cars by 2040. That's not long. No, I mean, that's not long at all.
Exactly.
And that's big. I mean, and the thing is that Google Maps is recorded all the roads with, all the roads are already logged in and stored. You upload those maps into a, onto a database. and you can have self-driving cars with all the, and it's all mapped out already in the early. Like this is, I don't think people realize the kind of potential that we're going into with technology. It's like crazy. As long as like, the Earth doesn't vanish into thin air, or we go into the Stone Age, or like, you know, a nuclear war pops off and it kind of stunts us or something temporarily. The limit is limitless. I mean, 20 years ago, we would never have thought we would even be able to talk like how we're talking right now, with people in a comment box putting their opinions, liking and disliking, let alone doing banking on a mobile phone app. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, right? And like I was saying before this film, we are in such an amazing time. It makes me excited. That's why I always say nerds rule the world, man. I would say to any kid that's growing up, go into IT, go into coding, go into innovation and automation. That's where it's at, man. That's where it's at. So after that, let's see what other questions we've got. That was inspirational as well. So Tommy Boy has said, remember people to put your questions in quickly, and then we'll quickly go through some questions, and pound that like button if you like hearing innovative long-term insights. What is going? So here's a question from Tommy Boy. What is going on? BCC Bittrex price is $750. I presume he means Bitcoin Cash, not the dreaded Bitcoin Connect. He also says that Kraken price is $450. The price is all over the place. I mean, do you know anything about that? I don't know anything about that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that the price is all over the place. What is it? What's going on? And do you know anything about that?
Yeah, you know, every exchange has their own prices. You know, some exchanges are not even, let's say, getting external Bitcoin Cash in, and they are not allowing, let's say, Bitcoin withdrawals at this point of time. So I would just suggest at this point of time, you cannot make any predictions on what's going to happen. Tomorrow can be a brand new day and it can crash totally, you know?
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Clear Horizon has asked, do we have money on Polo? No, I've cleared my Polo. No. Yeah, I just don't, dude, I just don't trust exchanges, man. Anything can happen. I mean, the BTCE thing is a classic example of that. Next question, right, let's see. Imagine Cohen Alberts, imagine token distribution on parties. God, people paying for their beers with their phones. Will ETH suffice in terms of speed? I'm sure ETH will upgrade so that people can have blockchain beers at some point. But yeah, that's a funny question. I like a bit of humor. We got to have fun with.
We need that.
Yeah, absolutely. But if we're not having fun, it's not worth it. Any thoughts on UBIC, UBIQ? Do you know anything about UBIC quickly? I mean, what's your take on that? I don't know. I've heard of it.
Not much.
No. Okay, all right, I'm gonna head on to see what other questions there are. Who lost? Lenny, he says, who lost a lot of money on Bitcoin Cash? I presume he means, you know, that's, people can comment their thoughts on that. Dave says you can't make predictions in this game. Yeah, I mean, it's all speculation.
It's all speculation, of course.
It's all it's all speculation. I said any last questions before we jump off? Okay, if there's any last questions, but Levi, is there any closing thoughts? What if in the meantime, is there any closing thoughts you want to kind of add to this? This interview's been awesome, man. It's been so informative.
We should do this more often, Luke.
Absolutely,
like
mate. Absolutely. Yeah. It's good fun, and like your insights are spot on as well, man. It's great fun, and we have like a very similar time zone. So
exactly.
You know, yeah. So
because I tried to pick something with Box Mining, but he's in Asia. It's very difficult to do it together. But this is easy.
Yeah, yeah. This is the thing. See, I was on I think I was on Ken Bozak's channel, and him and 21 Million were on my channel the other day. Yeah. And we kind of met each other halfway, but I stayed up to, I stayed up to 1 a.m. at one point, and then on another one, it was late for them as well, man. They're only 5 hours behind us. Yeah. And then I went to sleep and then got up at like 3 a.m. to be on his channel. And I don't mind doing that, you know. I don't mind jumping in for the team and being on their channel. They're great guys and everything. But yeah, it's the time zone thing is a bit, it can be a bit annoying for not just us, but people in like other countries as well.
True.
But let's see if there's any last questions. Last questions. Any thoughts on a music-based coin? Do you know anything about a music-based coin?
I heard of one, but yeah, my thoughts. I mean, yeah, it can innovate in all sectors. It can innovate in all sectors, but I'm not focused on those kind of coins. I'm only focused on privacy coins, because, to be honest, I think with all the regulations that are coming up, and not even from let's say a criminal use case perspective, but also, let's say, if you are loaded, then you also do not want to reveal yourself in a public ledger. And that's why I personally like stuff like Monero. And look at what happened with the bank run in Cyprus, right?
Yes.
Or in Greece.
Yeah.
And also from that perspective, you do not want to trust the government anymore. That's also a reason to go for a privacy coin, for instance. And that's why I find it a little bit sad that that coins like Monero are only being used in, you know, or being, let's say, trolled for, let's say, those use cases, while there are a lot of more use cases that you would use in a legal way, right, for this type of stuff.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to look at protocols. So I'm trying to look like stuff that are going to change the things in the future. Like Iota is going to be a backbone for the Internet of Things, most probably, wherever other blockchains will connect to on top, like Ethereum as a smart contract, but then they need to scale. And then I'm looking at these kind of things. So the other thing that I'm also very interesting about is Filecoin. Actually, it's not yet there, and only, let's say, accredited investors can tap into that. Unfortunately, I'm not that. I'm just a hobby investor. And yeah, and Civic, in my opinion, for identity verification, because I think identity verification will also be a big thing in the future. That are my, let's say, segments that I'm focusing on.
Yeah, I agree. I'm focused on the problem solvers, the innovators,
exactly.
and the ones that bridge the innovation gaps.
Yeah.
Smart contracts, absolutely. That's why I like any. I want Ethereum to crash a bit more so I can get someone to buy. Sorry to Vitalik, sorry Ethereum Whales, but yeah, I mean, privacy coins. Yeah, when these regulations start hitting us, and it's all these beginning now, and I know I was saying that it was going to happen back in like early 2017. Privacy coins, yeah, like Monero. I want to see Monero do well as well, but I think that it's made a lot of enemies because you know, and even like Fluffy even said, and like a lot of people that are working on Monero, they said like it's more likely to not succeed because of the path it's kind of taken than it will succeed, and that's kind of sad because it's so like, you know, it's probably, after Litecoin, it's probably like one of the more like legitimate altcoins, you know, it's up there. And having the ability to kind of send capital to each other, like I can send you capital and it would be totally anonymous, especially if I don't use an exchange, because the exchanges will know what I'm doing and have my IP address and all that kind of malarkey. But it would be sad to see something like Monero get kind of kiboshed by the system. And so yeah, privacy coins have massive potential. I mean, yeah, and things like, we have like digital cash options. We have Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash as well, and even Monero can do that as well. That's the thing, like you said, Monero doesn't just have to be black market, dodgy, you know, have that shady reputation. It can be used as a like how Bitcoin and Litecoin and Dash are looking to be used. I like innovation as well. I like things that are disruptive in a positive way, you know, automating and creating jobs, creating industries. So yeah, I agree with you, man, on that one. Let's check if there's any. We'll do two more. See if there's two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. Buy and Andrew Van Ness. What's up, Andrew? Buy and hold a cryptocurrency. Never heard if it ain't Bitcoin. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. I can see where you're coming from, but there is innovation there. I mean, if people bought on hot hell, I think if people put £3,000 sterling into Ethereum's ICO, they would now be millionaires. So you know, yeah, I get what you're saying. What's your take on that one anyway? What's your take on that one?
What was that? I missed that, to be honestly.
Oh yeah. Andrew says, and he's got a point. Buy and hold a cryptocurrency? Question mark. The dumbest thing I've ever heard if it ain't Bitcoin. So basically, buy and hold Bitcoin only. I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah. So if we look at it from, let's say, pure a brand awareness and a brand perception point of view, then of course Bitcoin is the one to go. If we talk in our environment, to our mother, father, brothers and sisters, friends, colleagues, they can say that they know Bitcoin, but they do not know Dash, for instance, right? So from a buy and hold perspective, I still think Bitcoin, yes, has the most potential there. Are there others that I would buy and hold for a longer period? Yeah, difficult to say, you know. That's all speculation. The rest is all speculation, in my opinion. But yeah, I do hold some for a longer period. I don't know. What's your take, Luke, on this?
Yeah, I agree with him to a certain extent. Yeah, I mean, I think, and I agree with what you say as well. I think Bitcoin still is a good foundation. It's a great. I think it's here to stay. Of course. I mean, anything can happen. There's never any guarantees in anything.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's here to stay. But I think it's always good to have a bit of have a little bit of speculation. I mean, you don't have to put your life savings into like Neo or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it's good to kind of have a bit of variety, you know, diversify. But I mean, yeah, I see it from both sides of the coin. Let's go with one more question. There's a few here.
Yeah, and sorry, before you go there, I do like that you say that diversity is important, and I do agree. You know, you only need to use money that you are that you can afford to lose. Sorry for my English, man. I'm saying I'm not fully in crypto, you know. I also have my commodities like gold and silver and other ones, and I also have, you know, other investments. Never put everything into crypto. That would be crazy. And still, you also still need to have fiat, right?
Exactly.
I mean, if everything goes down, in the end, you need money to trade.
Yeah, I mean, before we go on to the next question, I just want to say, yeah, I agree. As long as we have a government, like a central authority, as long as we have money in existence, as long as we haven't hit that Star Trek type utopia where money isn't needed, people are always going to want to go to good old fashioned regulated fiat government issued currency, whether it's digital or paper or whatever. That's a good point you've made. I'm glad you've mentioned that. And again, precious metals. Gold and silver are as old as the earth itself, and it will outlive us. It's older than us, and it will be here way past us as well. So yeah, I mean, diversity is key. That's what they say. Yeah. Okay, let's find another question, and then we'll wrap it up with some. Let's see, because people are kind of asking about altcoins. Let's see. Yeah, Cohen Alberts. Yeah, people do take loans to fund their crypto. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, we're well aware of that, bro. Someone asked about like Neo. I think I can't find the question, but I did see it.
No.
People are dubbing it like the sort of Chinese Ethereum. What's your take on that quickly, and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, sure. So what I think about Neo, the same thing I think about. How do you say it? Baidu, the same as I think about eBay versus Alibaba, the same way I think about Facebook and Yen, the same I think about Ethereum and Ants or Neo. So that's how the Chinese are, you know. They see something in the West, they have their own regulations, they work across the regulations to make it their own. And from that perspective, I really think that Neo, not going into the technicals on that, because also from a technical point of view, they are pretty good in what they do. And also from a partnership perspective, they also have good partnership with Microsoft as well, just to mention one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm only looking at it from that perspective. And if you look at it from that perspective, there might be a future.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely a future. China seems to have their own like their own ecosystem.
Exactly.
And they've got like, you know, they've got India next door, which is also like 1 billion people. They've got Russia as well. You know, so yeah, China's got more than enough. There's more than enough people in China alone to kind of compete with America and Europe's kind of own platforms. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
No, just one last thing on this topic.
Yeah.
We are only getting, let's say, a lot of news from the Western news sites here and the Western crypto websites. But what the hell is happening there in Asia? We cannot read Mandarin or Cantonese or simplified or Chinese. You know, I don't know what's happening there. We do not see those things coming on YouTube. It's all on their channels. And if we compare, let's say, the couple of hundreds of millions that we are here in the West versus the billions there in the East, I think we might have, let's say, a wrong view on what's happening there.
Yeah, that's powerful. Okay, so closing up, wrapping up. This has been an awesome interview. We're going to have to do this more often, bro.
Agree, Luke.
Do more of this. This is great fun because I love like sharing insights and all this stuff. It's really good. Where can people find you, and you know, where can they find you, and any sort of final thoughts on Bitcoin and crypto and all that stuff?
Okay, so final thoughts on Bitcoin. It's good to buy and hold. I'm also a buy and holder, but let's not all be too euphoric about, let's say, Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency world and blockchain in general. On the long term, I'm pretty sure that it will go far more up, far more than the 115 billion that we have reached. But stay realistic, lock up some profits whenever you have the chance. Don't forget that we came from 20-30 billion from the beginning of the year. And if you are longer in this, you have already made a lot of more profits. So I would always suggest take out some profits. Although I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just a hobby investor. Make your own decisions and do your own research. And where can you find me? You can find me on Cryptocurrency Edutainment. So edutainment is from education.
The links below. The links below as well.
I can be found on Steemit under @TheFamousDJ. I will not tell you where that name comes from. Next time. And also on Twitter @TheFamousDJ. On Facebook, Cryptocurrency Edutainment as well. That's awesome, it.
Bro. Well, so it's been a real honor having you on, mate. And yeah, we're going to do this more. And for everyone watching at home, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Make sure you smack that.
Smack it.
Yes. Smack it. I'm not even going to go further into that. But yeah, man, smack the subscribe button, smack the like button, share the video. And thank you so much for watching. It's awesome. It's great fun. We're going to be doing more of this. Have a good evening, night, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. Cool.